You're watching a new program, Seniors for Seniors. It's about, we're trying to enhance your life. If you're a senior on the island, any place you may be watching from, there is a way to enhance your life. We're going to be talking about what used to be the Senior Center in Great Neck. It's now called the Social Center, and we're going to talk about the programs that we have there. There's something for everyone. If you don't have a senior center in your town, it's our time. The Ys are now have things for seniors, used to be for teenagers, the temples, the churches, even the libraries. I have two guests today. One is Phoebe, one is Janet, and they are so accomplished and so active in the community. It boggles my mind. Janet, would you tell us, I understand your family was involved in the start of the Senior Center.
Yes, in the early 1950s, my mother was president of the National Council of Jewish Women in Great Neck, and they decided to start a Golden Age Club. Everybody said, what do you need a Golden Age Club in fancy Great Neck? And my mother said, well, there are a lot of older people in fancy Great Neck. And so they started it, and my mother was one of the founders, as were several other people. And it started in a little Quonset hut. And after the Quonset hut, we went to Hicks Lane. And Hicks Lane, we built a building there by an anonymous donor. And we stayed on Hicks Lane for a long time. And then we got too big, too powerful, too active, too wonderful. And we moved because the Great Neck Public Schools invited us to take part in Grace Avenue School, and we became a part of Grace Avenue. And it has been vibrant, constantly new courses, new discussion groups, new book groups, new art groups, new dance groups, new, oh my God, exercise. Honey, you could do exercise until you want to stop. But you have every group you could ever want in there. We even have, thanks to Phoebe, a billiard table and a ping pong table.
Oh.
So, I mean, you can be Paul Newman if you want.
I was going to say, because the pool table, as I call it, is relatively new, and I was going to a meeting, and of course, the seniors objected to the Great Neck Senior Center being called Seniors, so it was changed to Great Neck Social, and I thought it was ridiculous to change the name. I was going to a meeting down the hall. Classroom doors were open. Of course, I looked in. In one room, men and women were playing bridge. In one room, women were playing backgammon and mahjong. I come to the next room, and there is nothing but a pool table and a lot of men in that room. And I thought, wow, when did that happen? So it's nice.
Oh, it's marvelous. We have ping pong once a week, and we have billiards or pool once a week. We have a current event discussion group every Thursday afternoon at 2. I happen to be one of the discussers, one of the moderators once a month. But we have 3 or 4 other moderators who are probably better than I because I put my 2 cents in all the time. It's marvelously exciting. People are always involved. 20 years ago, if not more, when I retired from teaching, I became active, more active. I've been active in the social center because of my mother forever. But in the 90s, we invited the Persian community to become active. And we started with exercises in the Persian community and trying to keep our new residents, new immigrants, involved in not just their own community, but in American and Persians together. Now we have a Chinese group that also comes. We have everybody speaking every language, and only our director, Ann Tarsher, can remember languages and talk to them all. So, you know.
Phoebe, could you, the lunch program absolutely blows my mind. I must show our audience that once a month a book comes out. It's full of information in the inside on classes, courses, but on the back is the menu for every day. The lunch is so inexpensive. You cannot go to McDonald's or a fast food or what is it, White Castle, for the cost of a lunch. Soup, salad, an entree, sometimes ice cream for dessert, occasionally cookies, and some people just come for lunch. But you know, would you tell us? I know you do certain things there, Phoebe, that you're
I do a
involved
few things.
in.
For instance,
Oh, yes.
well, let me start at the beginning for me, and that was 1996. My husband was just starting the signs of Alzheimer's, and I had heard from somebody, I don't know who, that there was this senior center around, so I should take a look at it. So I went to the senior center expecting to see a lot of people in wheelchairs and making little things with needlework and all that stuff. And I got blown away because I walked down the hall, and in one room they were talking about what to do with their municipal bonds. And in another room they were doing one of these things with the
Current event.
politics
Yes,
and all
politics.
that stuff, you know.
Yes, yes.
And outside, a bus was going to leave to go down to Lincoln Center and go see a show. I mean, I said, this can't be what I was looking
Oh,
at.
you know, now that you say that, maybe 2-3 years ago, I went on a bus to the city.
Yes.
We went to a matinee, a musical.
Yes.
We ate lunch first. We
Oh,
went
yeah.
in. They brought us back. It was absolutely delightful. I didn't have to worry about parking the car. I didn't have to worry about car service and traffic. Got on the bus, that was it.
Right.
I mean, the programs are so current
Absolutely.
and so diversified.
Yes.
If you can't find something you like at our senior social center,
You're not looking.
you're not looking.
Or you're dead.
That's possible. Yeah.
No, there are so many things to do.
They all, don't they also have, because sometimes when I come in, they're taking blood pressure,
Yes.
there's some kind of
yes,
medical
this is our
something.
dear friends and marvelous people we cohabit with at the end. That's the Project Independence. There couldn't be anything more marvelous for people who want to stay in their own homes
Yeah.
and get services and know where they're at, from being there with our nurses who are there a couple of days a week, taking our blood pressure, and being there for consultations on, I got a pain, I don't know where to go. But so that there's no amount of talk we could give about Project Independence, because they
Yes.
have our backs in every way.
They not only have our backs because I'm active in that also, but they are all so young.
They're
Which
very
is
young,
good.
Which is
Yeah,
good because
I
they
mean,
have
really young.
they have the energy
Yeah.
to solve the problem. When I first started after retirement, I ran a bereavement group. I ran a support group for people who had
Like
ill
me.
spouses. Phoebe joined me in that group. But now Project Independence has taken it over. We have several therapy kind of group sessions where you
Yeah.
can talk about your mutual difficulties, your mutual problems, which is a blessing, of course. There are so many opportunities to just talk, and if you don't want to join a class, okay, you can join a class through we have Great Neck residents cost $30 for classes that are sponsored by the Great Neck Public School. But we have endless classes that are free. And we have a lot of free interests. So You can either look at the bulletin that comes out from the Great Neck Public Schools 2 or 3 times a year and find a list of Great Neck Senior Center courses, which of course are a third of the price that you could find anywhere. But if you don't want to spend money even on that, you can find things to do every day that are free.
By the way, they now, and I think it's necessary in our community because we have many, many, many apartment houses
Yes,
in Great Neck.
yes.
And very often, Mama or Papa passes away, the children come in and say to the surviving parent, you don't want to be alone in the house. Great Neck has a great senior population, a lot of apartment houses, free concerts in the park. Move to Great Neck. So we have, I think,
Yes.
an unusually large number of seniors. Now,
Yes.
don't we also, the senior social center, excuse me, don't they have a little bus pickup that?
Absolutely. We have a bus pickup. You can call the Senior Social Center and ask to be picked up. You are picked up somewhere around 9:30, between 9 and 10. And you stay for lunch. And we bring you home somewhere between 1:30 and 2. You're brought back. So you do not have to drive to get to the Senior Center.
Is there a
Social center.
charge for that?
There,
It is
no.
a contribution.
Contribution.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
it's very small. Well, we're not making money out of
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
things. We are nonprofit. And so if you are able to and can contribute $2 for a ride,
You do.
and anywhere in North Hempstead, really, it turns
Yeah.
out to be.
And if you're having a bad week and you're short, so then you don't contribute
We-
this week.
Through Nassau, I'm on a Nassau County Senior Advisory Committee. You are not allowed as a senior center to charge for your transportation, even for your food. It's called a contribution or a donation.
I was going to say, when you get the menu
I'll get that.
sorry about that.
No problem.
When you get the menu for the month, at the bottom, it says suggested
Right.
contribution.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
And-
because we get monies through Nassau County Social Services. The Department of Senior Services is our overseer, and they come to the center often to double check that we are doing everything the way they say we are supposed to do it. And we have an incredible director, Ann Tarsher, who, I mean, is the blessing. God brought her to us.
I
believe me.
was just going to say, Ann Tarsher is unreal in that
Yes.
I'm not there that often, but she saw me one day and she said, Sabina, I know you're an idea person. How do I get the men in? And I told her, World War II Veterans Club, and Mel Sachs. You go in any day, it's like he works there. He's
Yes,
at a desk,
yes.
he's making phone
Yes,
calls.
yes.
Since he knows, he considers me their mother. If they have a speaker, or recently they had someone who was a film editor at CBS who made a film about Sinatra in the early days,
yes,
his
yes.
performing. And if Mel knows it's something I like, he invites me to come and I go to that.
Oh,
so
yes, yes.
there is something for everybody.
Constantly.
And as you say, if you have a good idea, Anne is open to it. There are trips
Yes.
to the museum, there are trips to Connecticut.
And of course, in the summer, there's a trip to Stepping Stone. There's a trip to the pool. Our buses will
yeah.
take you to Barkwood if you're a member of
Yeah.
the Park District. We have endless activities that keep you going. I mean, you should see we have what I call the American Tai Chi on Monday mornings, and then we have the Chinese, the real McCoy,
Yeah.
on Wednesday, and we have, I think, every Chinese person in greater Nassau County, New York area doing the most magnificent, graceful movements. But that's what I mean, young, moving. Every Tuesday I run just a little schmooze and tea time, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we have a small group. And
Excuse me, is that the Lunch and Learn program?
no,
or is
that's
that
another
different?
one.
right.
I do all kinds
You'll
of things.
tell us about that after you tell us about tea.
Well, we just take a little conversation. I do a little stretching because I need it. I figure if I need it, they need it. We do a little stretching. We do a little schmoozing. We talk about what they did for the weekend, what they hope to do for the week. That's for an hour. But once a month, I do Lunch and Learn, which is a book review. I choose books. They come in and we talk about the books. I lecture, and we have the lunch brought to them in the.
So you eat in a classroom.
We eat in the classroom, and it's there. It's a cold lunch. It's usually tuna salad, but it has been wonderful, inventive salads. I mean, we have a fabulous cook downstairs, our wonderful cook, who can come up with cold. I mean, he's just a godsend. What's his name? You
You're
forget
asking
too.
a
You
95-year-old.
Yeah, well,
to
an
remember.
83-year-old can't remember either. So, all right. So, whatever. He is fabulous. We have an incredible staff. John, our Haitian, has been there.
20 years.
Oh, far more than 20 years.
Really?
30 years. 30 or 35 years. He's delicious. He switches the rooms over. He does everything under the sun. We have Dwayne, who's one of our drivers, and we have Aubrey, who's one of our drivers. And they're the sweetest kindness. They help people into the buses. They help people out of the buses.
And there's a little stairway there that has a
ramp.
platform.
And a moving ramp. We can
Yes,
get
that
your
you can
chair
put your
up and down if
wheelchair
you,
on.
yeah.
You get down.
Which is
you
great
get up.
fun. If you like having fun, you put your little wheelchair on. They press a little button, down it goes. You get out, you go. We even now have a bathroom on the cafeteria level, which we hadn't had before, but the Great Neck School District got it for us, put it in for us. So we have handicap access, we have full access. We have people who are Charles Atlas survivors, and we have people who are just survivors.
But you know what? For the viewing audience, I want to say that if they're seniors and they don't have a senior center, get a crowd together and get one and get out. You can sit home all day and watch television.
Yes.
But we really all need to communicate with someone.
Extremely
and
important.
I think, because I was going to say I'm opinionated, but but I think that most seniors are. Once you get
Of course.
through life and you've experienced things, it makes you opinionated. You know, you don't wonder, oh, if I do that, what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen. But it's important, you have to communicate with other people. Television, you say it's not any good anymore. It's not that. It's that the older we get, the more we need. You need a reason to get up
Yes.
in the morning and put
Yes.
your shoes on.
It is absolutely essential for seniors to get out and get involved. There's a well column in the New York Times science section every Tuesday that says the most important thing for seniors, besides a little exercise, is being social with other people. It is what keeps your mind going. If you stay in the house, you are going to vegetate. And we all lose track of what's going on. You know, you've been ill, I've been ill. You know, if you've been ill for a week, 2 weeks, a month, being confined to the house, not being able to, suddenly you don't know the month, you don't know the day, you forget things, you don't move. The moment you're able to go out, your life suddenly blossoms.
I can tell you, and I have a very good memory. I was in for about 10 days. The back was out. I was in. I have a big television in the bedroom. It's a distraction. I was watching television after about 7 days, and someone on the program said Adele. And I thought, wow, I know an Adele. Adele what? Adele who? Where do I know her from? 4 hours it bothered me because I'm not using my mind,
Right.
so it had to warm up, and all of a sudden I came back from getting myself a cup of tea, and it came to me, and I said, Adele Colby.
So
And
if you don't use it,
you lose it.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to tell you, of course, we stepped at where I was going to say the things that I like to do. When I grew up and I graduated from high school, I wanted to be in musical comedy.
Oh,
But
yes.
my mother wouldn't let me, because girls at that time didn't. So I had to wait until I got to the senior center, 60 or 70 years later, and I started to sing jazz. And
she's
so
great.
I have 2 jazz therapy groups going, and it's a fascinating thing, because the ones who like to sing together like a chorus, they're in one group, but the ones like me who never got discovered, the 10 of us, are soloists, and we have a good accompanist.
Oh, yeah.
And we may take the show on the road. I don't know.
Phoebe, if you're ever for sale, call me first. I'm
No,
buying.
we don't charge, you see.
No,
You
no,
know?
I mean you personally.
She is
I know.
unbelievable.
I know.
She had that wonderful
The boa.
boa on one day
boa.
and walked down the
I was singing Big Spender.
Oh.
Okay, so you know that was that was a hoot.
she's fabulous, but she gets everybody excited. You even have a Wednesday morning group with
Yes.
the pianist
Yeah.
that plays old songs.
That you see a lot of now in the papers. They're all discovering that.
Yes,
that,
yes,
music
they're
is going to
discovering
really
the.
help a lot.
Well,
This is
it's
good.
like when they discovered the cowboys and Indians, all the movies
Yeah.
with John Wayne with cowboy and Indians, and now they're finding out that wow, as I say nowadays, and I was brought up in a musical family. Music isn't music; it's noise.
Oh, you mean the pop
Well,
stuff.
if you're young, it's music. For us, it's noise. But whatever it is, music talks to you. Music brings you alive, okay? That is what Phoebe has done, and she has donated the musician, all kinds of things. Phoebe is the most generous donor in our community. We also have another generous donor. We're very fortunate because our budget isn't always covered by state, county, and payment for some of our classes. We have to raise money every year. Without Phoebe, we would really be all red from head to toe.
Oh, I hope that isn't so.
but Phoebe writes the fundraising letters. Phoebe writes
the copy.
the copy.
Oh.
Phoebe writes all our Great Neck social news in
The record
newspaper.
and the news.
Yes, and she has a witty sense of humor when she writes.
Yeah, we have 2 local papers in Great Neck, the Record and the News, and there was one I was in all the time and I never could remember. which one, and the way I remembered it was, I don't set records, I make news.
That's
So, but most communities, and that's coming back to the seniors in the audience, most communities on the North Shore have their own little newspaper. They always list what's going on this week, next
Yes,
week,
yes.
and or you can call your local village hall. Go to the supermarket and talk to an old person online and say, what do you do? Where do you go? They have to get out, and it makes
Very
a difference.
essential.
Yeah.
I'm now living in Manhasset, so I'm on the Friends of Manhasset Library, and we have most of our free courses too, and I do book reviews there. Most of your seniors, and it's always the seniors who come. Though I had one young mother who came pregnant, the baby was born, she brought the baby to the book review, and I've seen this baby become up to
Yeah,
6-year-olds.
yeah.
He still comes to my book reviews. It's very
I
fun.
do want to make sure everybody knows how populated the social center is. So if I tell you that 1,000 people come
Yes.
every week now, and if you just think of the 4 levels of bridge, that's 50 in each class. If you think of the lunch program, for instance, there are many people from the Persian community,
Oh, yes.
and now the Asian communities, and well, all the other, you've heard a listing of all the other
By
things
the
that are
way,
going on.
Phoebe, would you tell our viewers, is there a cost to belong to the senior center?
No, unlike a lot of them, you are in North
a resident.
Hempstead, and you come in, and you are over 60. You are just interviewed. Just tell us so we know where you are, who you are, how to call anyone if anything happens, and that's all. That's all. There is no other charge.
Right. Everything has to be suggested. We cannot charge. The only things we charge for are what the Great Neck Public School helps supply us, which are certain courses. And we have to charge for. But everything else, no. And you just have to be from Nassau County, and you're one of ours. You're our baby.
Amazing,
So now
amazing.
we're ready to conclude.
Well, I think the 3 of us had been having fun. Old ladies like to talk, but we hope you got some information that's valuable to you. Think about it, join a group anywhere, and please tune us in next time. We'll have some more interesting guests.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.